And let me ask you, Ms. McFarland, the rigorous enforcement of sanctions on North Korea is essential to get North Korea to the table for serious negotiations about denuclearization of the peninsula. Singapore has an important role in that effort. The United Nations panel of experts set up to monitor North Korean compliance with international sanctions has assessed that North Korea continues to evade sanctions through the use of front companies, including in Singapore. That panel's report linked a Singaporean company to a North Korean firm that is involved in the sale of conventional arms. The company Glocom was identified as a front run by North Korean intelligence agencies that sell equipment in violation of UN sanctions. More recently, the research organization NK News published a comprehensive report indicating that a Singapore-based company named OCN Singapore is involved in importing luxury goods into North Korea in defiance of UN Security Council sanctions. Singapore needs to fully investigate those allegations and ensure that North Korea is not using its open financial and trading environment to evade sanctions. If you're confirmed, Ms. McFarland, would you ensure that the strongest possible message is sent from the United States to the Singapore government that we expect full compliance with the North Korean sanctions?
Absolutely. As President Trump has said, North Korea's nuclear proliferation program is one of the most serious and immediate crises we face. And whether it's the financial technology issues, the fintech, or whether it's the counter-proliferation transshipment point that Singapore is for goods that might be going to North Korea of any type, it's important not only that we have these international agreements, but that we enforce them. And so you have my complete confidence that if I am confirmed, I will pursue that. Thank you.
Yeah, it's hard to get the attention of North Korea if China is not imposing tough sanctions. There's been a 37% increase in trade between China and North Korea over the last year, and the same thing is true from some of these other countries. We just have to make sure that the pressure is intensified so that North Korea does come to the bargaining table. Mr. Johnson, the issue of Northern Ireland is very important to tens of millions of Irish in the United States. Following his nomination by President Clinton, Senator George Mitchell chaired the all-party negotiations that ultimately produced the Good Friday Agreement of 1998. It ended years of bloodshed, but a crisis in Northern Ireland has prevented the formation of a government there since January, when Martin McGuinness resigned as Deputy First Minister 2 months before he died. Since January, Sinn Féin and the Democratic Unionist Party have been in difficult talks to form a new government. The June election in the UK has resulted in Prime Minister May's Conservative Party forming a coalition with the Democratic Unionist Party. The DUP was the only party in Northern Ireland that opposed the Good Friday Agreement, although its founder, Ian Paisley, ultimately agreed to a government in which he served as First Minister and McGuinness served as Deputy First Minister. The Prime Minister's May's coalition was formed with the DUP, and it's particularly troubling because the British government is the guarantor of the Good Friday Agreement and is responsible for mediating the political crisis in Belfast. So all of these factors raise serious concerns, especially since the Northern Irish voted overwhelmingly against Brexit. Now, even as there is a goal set by Prime Minister May that she wants a hard Brexit, which causes real problems, potentially, in Northern Ireland.
Right.
Could you talk a little bit about that issue and how you would to represent the United States?
Senator, I thank you for that very complicated question, because it reflects the complications of what's happening in Northern Ireland and its relation to both the U.S. and the U.K. The Good Friday agreements, as you pointed out, that were shepherded by the U.S., by the U.K., and by the Irish themselves, led to roughly 19 years so far of peace, relative peace and tranquility from a period that was very turbulent. these are complicated issues, particularly now if you inject Brexit into the equation as a factor, as a major factor. You have issues, you have border issues, trade issues, immigration issues. A lot had been done, as you've commented on, with supporting jobs along the border to harmonize the relationship and to try to have a better understanding between the secular beliefs that were the cause of some of the unrest. I pledge to you, because I know this is an important issue, that if confirmed, I will spend a lot of time trying to do anything I can do to facilitate the establishment of the establishment of an understanding, and try to pick up on what you did in '98 to establish this, and try to, because it's in our best, it's a U.S. best interest to have a stable UK, including Northern Ireland.
Yeah, so I thank you for that. The more attention you pay to it, I think, is the greater the likelihood that the peace will hold. It's the economic integration largely, the customs integration issues, the security issues that have really helped to integrate Northern Ireland into Europe and with Ireland itself. So the more that Brexit kind of starts to fool with that formula, is the more it could lead to a delay in the full integration, which I think ultimately is what the people of Northern Ireland need to finally bring a permanent peace and tranquility to their country. So thank you, sir.